Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It is Thursday, March 9th, 2023. Here's what's happening today in America. The Afghanistan withdrawal 2 years ago. Raises for federal employees. A majority of Americans think woke is good. And child labor in Arkansas. That's all coming up. And then Bill will be here with the message of the day. But first, a Green Beret and retired Lieutenant Colonel, 23 years in service, 3 combat tours in Afghanistan, gave his testimony in front of the House Foreign Affairs Committee during a hearing on the Afghanistan withdrawal, which was 2 years ago. The Navy SEAL told a story of a text he received from an Afghan partner who said, "My daughter's been trampled. Sir, I know we're going to miss our chance to escape, but she is unconscious and barely breathing. It's okay, my friend. Thank you for trying." He said, "This whole thing has been a gut-wrenching experience. I never imagined I would witness this kind of gross abandonment, followed by career-preserving silence of senior leaders, both military and civilian." Joe Biden planning on giving a raise to federal employees, 5.2%. This would be the largest salary increase that federal employees have received since 1980, when Carter issued a 9.1% average pay increase. But the Democrats in the House and Senate wanted it to be more. They asked for 8.7%. Private sector employees have seen an increase in wages at 4.6%. When you hear the term woke, do you have a positive or negative connotation to that? I almost always hear it used negatively, like this company went woke, or look at this foolish thing that this woke professor said, and then a story about how crazy they are. But a USA Today poll finds that 56% of Americans have a positive connotation for the word woke. A majority of Americans define the word as to be informed, educated on, and aware of social justice issues. Only 39% have a negative connotation and define the word as to be overly politically correct and to police others' words. We live on different planets. So, for instance, R.L. Stine, his Goosebumps books, they made a bunch of revisions, which is like a thing happening in books now, removing the word slave, and one character was described as looking like a bowling ball, and they got rid of that because it's very insensitive. It turns out R.L. Stine didn't approve it. The publisher did it without his permission. Is that woke? And is that good? The governor of Arkansas, Sarah Sanders, passed a bill making it easier for children under 16 to work. Now, it's being framed by the left as rolling back child labor protections, but she's just making it no longer necessary for an employer to get a work certificate from parents. Employers still need to follow all the child labor laws. They just don't need a note from mommy. What was your first job under 16? Did it require written permission from your parents? I'm Mike Slater. Bill O'Reilly with your message of the day. Next.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-372-2017. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017.
Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Thursday, without partisan rancor, let's take a look at Monday's airing of the January 6th Capitol riot tape and do a true-false analysis. Number one, every protester who entered the U.S. Capitol on that day, January 6th, broke the law. True. Some of the protesters were peaceful after entering. True. Some were violent. True. The Fox News presentation downplayed the violence. True. Police officers died because of the riot. False, with an explanation. Officer Brian Sicknick suffered a stroke and died shortly after the riot, but medically, the cause of death cannot be attributed to the protesters. President Biden, Attorney General Garland, and numerous politicians accused the Capitol trespassers of murder. True. So did members of Brian Sicknick's family. True. It is possible to understand the riot by watching the Fox edited tape. False. With 40,000 hours of video boiled down to a few minutes, just about any point could be made. Some MAGA conservatives believe the riot was not a serious issue. True. So Democrats say the riot was not a serious issue. False. Unlike conservatives who differ on the historical impact of the riot, all liberals believe it was an insurrection. And finally, President Trump directly caused the riot. False. That case remains weak. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. Now let's go to the mail. Marie. Excellent no-spin news. Thank you for explaining the January 6th riot. Now I understand exactly what happened to the police officers. We have on the message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com, and anybody can read that. You don't have to be a premium or concierge member. You can just go and read it every morning. A true-false quiz about the January 6th stuff. It's easy, and if you take it, you'll know exactly what happened. So I thank you, Marie, for those kind words. DeWitt, how realistic is declaring war against Mexican drug cartels, assuming we had a president inclined to do it? With 100,000 a year deaths from fentanyl smuggled into this country by drug cartels and new behavior of kidnapping U.S. citizens and killing them, it may be time. If you read Killing the Killers, all right, my book, Killing the Killers, it will show you exactly what the United States could do to the cartel leadership. We did the same thing to ISIS. All right, it's a little more complicated because there are civilians involved, and these guys tend to hide in towns with civilians, but there's ways to do this. And it's not that hard. The weaponry we have, the surveillance that we have right now is incredible. So Killing the Killers walks right through this if you are interested. Donald Warner, Four Oaks, North Carolina. Everyone in America should be looking at the latest release of the tapes that clearly show an orchestrated effort by government operatives aiding in an effort to get peaceful demonstrators into the Capitol building. Donald, I did not see that. I did not see government operatives encouraging people to go into the Capitol. What I did see, Capitol Police, all right, trying to de-escalate by not confronting protesters. The big difference than encouraging them to go in and break doors down and windows and push the cops around. You know, cops got pepper sprayed down there. So you and I think we have a gentleman's disagreement here. In a moment, something you might not know. The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped 20%, and this year could be worse. You are right to be worried. So please call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. On this day in 1841, the Supreme Court freed 35 Africans held for the crime of mutiny. The decision ended a national debate that raged for 2 years. Here is the story of the slave ship Amistad. On June 28, 1839, 53 people kidnapped in Africa left port aboard the Amistad for a life of slavery on a sugar plantation in Cuba. 3 days later, one passenger managed to free himself and ignited a mutiny. Early in the morning of July 2nd, in the midst of a storm, the Africans rose up against their captors using sugarcane knives. They killed the captain and 2 crew members. Jose Ruiz and Pedro Montez, the 2 Cubans who had purchased the enslaved people, were taken prisoner. After 2 very difficult months at sea, the Amistad was finally spotted by American ships, and on August 26th, the USS Washington seized the Amistad off the coast of Long Island and escorted it to New London, Connecticut. The 2 Cubans demanded the return of their human cargo. The story of Amistad mutiny garnered widespread attention, and abolitionists succeeded in securing a trial. On March 9th, 1841, the Supreme Court ruled that the Africans had been illegally enslaved and had thus exercised a natural right to fight for their freedom. In November, with the financial assistance of their abolitionist allies, the Amistad Africans departed America aboard the ship Gentleman for a month-long journey back to West Africa. And here's something else you might not know. The African slaves of the Amistad were defended in court by a former president. 73-year-old John Quincy Adams, then a member of the House of Representatives, worked free of charge for months to help free the captives. Quincy Adams, a brilliant man, was successful. Back after this.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-925-7584 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-925-7584. That's 800-925-7584. What do you have to lose? Call 800-925-7584. Again, 800-925-7584.
Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.